thing. Go, next.
Yeah. Ego defense mechanisms. We talked about the Las Vegas interview, the teen prodigy, whatever. Yeah. I feel almost like the whatever, the 45-year-old Michael Jordan, whatever. Or like I feel I am honestly past my prime, so to speak. Not past my prime, but like my peak. And then even though I'm mature, I have more wisdom and say I think I was more I think I was a better hypnotist, and all the kind of like manipulating kind of skills was much better when I was younger.
Okay, back to the interview part. What lesson could have been learned by the owner of the call center if he had had the enlightenment to know what he did wrong? He had before him this 19-year-old perfect sales manager, but for whatever reason, intimidation or fear, what could he have learned from that? What was the lesson he could have learned?
Well, I think let's kind of generalize. We're not that one person, but basically anybody who has an ego defense mechanism probably has that as a barrier through many layers of life. That comes through with like, listening or ignoring their loved ones or their spouse. That comes through of like being a subordinate or rebellious towards police. So anytime some people just don't like to yield,
Correct.
So and in yielding, sometimes it's a powerful thing. It's like you ever see like in a movie where like the emperor gives like the power to like whatever because he has a great idea to like fix the village, whatever. So sometimes it's great to yield because the world is big. You can't do everything on your own. Plus, why would you drain your own resources when you can be resourceful of other people?
Or delegating. Delegation is important.
Delegating, but I think like people try to be like a one-man team, and that's going to be counterintuitive.
So the call center Rob's ego would not allow him to see and utilize the Holy Grail of employees that could have
because that pattern he doesn't want that pattern to collapse. You understand? It's a layered pattern because that pattern is immersed and combined with the way he deals with his girlfriend, the way he deals with his coworkers. If he says, okay, I'm going to yield to this employee, ipso facto, that means by law of transition, that means I'm going to listen to my girlfriend more, let her control the relationship. Now, giving up control is kind of like one of those universal things where like if you give it in one place, it'll automatically show up in other places where you control, and that it'll be a universal factor of giving up control.
Well, Bart, that's almost at odds with what you said. Don't exchange in a dialogue because you're like showing weakness. Just make the statement. But here, it's almost like you're saying, well, you've got to accept or delegate or involve others.
I think the difference, Jeff, is words versus behavior. Words are different than behaviors. So there's times when you want to use words so they behave like this, and there's times where you want to behave yourself like this and that. So sometimes you want to use words in your favor, sometimes you want to use behavior.
So his behavior, he should have accepted the prize that was in front of him rather than his ego pushing it away. He should have brought it in.
Yeah, he should have allowed that behavior to manifest, but not necessarily he doesn't have to accept the words for the behavior to be true. Right. Because there's people who are like, oh, I disagree with him, but he's a great salesperson, right? So he should have made a distinction of like words versus behavior. Like people are like, like Moneyball. Do you see that movie where people are prejudiced because he had like a crooked arm, but he's like a great swinger, and then they actually did the statistics and whatever, and then they won the team on a low budget because they only measured that one thing, like how good can he pitch. Even though he has a crooked leg, an ugly girlfriend, other factors that are irrelevant, and like your ego and fear should not influence who you want to hire for a position you're trying to fill. You know what I mean?
And that's again easier.
That's like the pitcher thing. Like you shouldn't be repulsed by like. He has an ugly
sidearm delivery. I think he was a submarine pitcher.
Yeah.
Instead of just an over the top.
Yeah.
But yet the data, the statistics show. What does that matter?
He got people out. Yeah.
He got people out. That's what you're trying to do. Get people out.
What I'm saying is like that's what I'm saying about metaphors versus being specific. That one factor, when you like narrow in and microscope on it, that's gonna make you win because that you're only focusing on that one factor, versus like having a universal approach of like combining factors.
Pretty deep.
Yeah. Okay.